Mustard Knuckle.
Hello everybody, Mustard Knuckle back again, heading out in the Cheeto, or Cheeto. I've been told the correct way to say it is Cheeto, so that's how we're going to say it. Working my way around the side. Hopefully those guys don't get me before we get over here. I'm trying to stay low. This thing sticks up really high. We'll do gameplay, history, and any tips that come up along the way. Ooh, you guys both got hit already. So tip number one, this is something. If two guys have already gotten hit right in front of you, what I'm doing is probably a bad idea. Unless they kill the other guy, but being that there's two guys that got nailed right in front of me, so, you know, don't drive in the same area where you just saw somebody or see a bunch of guys that already got hit. Isn't the snow pretty? Anyway, the Cheeto. This thing, prototype, they only made two, which I'm not exactly sure what Cheeto and Cheeto Late is, because they just made a couple prototypes. Basically, I mean, I think they're basically the same. Here we go. No. Let's see. They both ended up in a lake because the Japanese didn't want the Americans to find them. So they both ended up being shoved into a lake to be hidden toward the end of the war. Originally, these were going to be Homeland Defense tanks because Japanese were assuming that the Allies, or the Americans actually, on that side, were going to... Here we go. Nope. See if we can get him. Wow, what happened to that shell? Well, either way. So the assumption... Come on. There we go. The assumption was that the Americans were going to invade Japan. That's the theory they were operating under. Oh, can I shoot under here? Yes? Yes! Oh, right in that... Oh my gosh, I couldn't even see that plate. This one has a similar one. You see it on that front corner of the upper hull. Hold on. It's got an angled plate there to where if you turn this thing, you can see it up there on those front edges. Uh-oh. Well, that's going to do it no matter where you hit it. But the M6A1, it's got that angled plate there that if you can put it through there, you're going to kill the whole tank. The Cheeto has the same thing, which presents a problem because when you angle the front iron, then that plate on the corner is pointing directly at, it's a perpendicular shot, and it's super easy to pin. If a Cheeto is angling itself at you, you can put it right through that plate. So, continuing, the Cheeto, Homeland Defense, they needed it, they needed a big gun, and this thing, it really does have a good gun. I enjoy this gun, high velocity, low arc, relatively decent reload. I don't know if that's accurate in real life, that it was going to be a fast reload. But it's really a good tank. You see the crew hatch up there. I mean, I don't understand how so many super smart people design these tanks with these big old crew hatches that stick up, like on a Panzer, or even on a Panther, or on an early Tiger. Or, you know, all those, they got this crew hatch that sticks way up in the sky, so, you know, you think you're hidden, and then that thing's sticking up, and then somebody hits it, they take out the commander every single time, possibly more, and that's bad. You can see it sticking up on that one. Like, seriously, how did nobody think about this? Or was it just not a big deal in real life? Was it... I mean, I think it'd be a big deal from the point of view of visibility. Like, if you see a little random crew hatch cruising along behind the hill because it's sticking up a little bit, like sort of like a periscope of a submarine, you know, you can see that sticking up. Or can you even shoot at it? I don't know how accurate these guns were. I'm assuming they probably weren't accurate enough to hit that from any distance like you can in the game. But seems like a weak spot to me. Same with those angled pieces. You know, they made the Tiger squared off. That way you can angle it. Nice, that's cool. That way you can angle it. I wish I had guns right now. I'm just going to keep shooting as if I did. And crash. So on a Tiger, since it's 90 degrees at the front, you can angle it, and then you have a good, deflection angle or whatever, on the front of the tank. Whereas with this one, they angled those plates. You can see it right there. They angled it, so when you turn to try to angle it, then you're giving them an easy shot. So it's interesting that certain things didn't really get considered with tanks and development. I guess it just takes a lot of time for them to figure out these kinds of things. And oh, come on. Ah, jeez, how many kills have I missed? I'm driving myself crazy in this game. I don't know where that one went. I guess it went over. Let's see. Let's get this guy. No, he's too good. Maybe? Non-pen. So, continuing, let's see. Alright. With the Cheeto, I mean, this thing, I think the Ho-Ro or I can't remember whichever one. How'd this guy get back here? The one right after this one, the Ho-Re maybe? I can't remember all of them. That had the, like, the 2 shells that would wait and then, or like kind of a semi-auto reloader type deal. That tank was a derivative of this, I believe. And it also never went into production. But it led to other things. You know, they developed these heavy tanks. These were big tanks. It was similar in width and height maybe to that M6A1. See if I can get through here. Nope. Maybe a little narrower, a little shorter, I can't remember, but dimensionally this thing wasn't that far off of the M6A1. It was pretty big. And they spent a lot of time on this gun. They spent a lot of time on the engine too, because I think there was an Italian engine or a German engine. There was an engine from another country that the intent was to use that engine, but then that engine didn't work the way that they wanted it to. It was either power to weight or like a cooling issue or something, so they ended up developing this tank with their own engine. I'm pretty sure there ended up being like a Kawasaki or something engine. I'd have to look that back up. What the heck? Huh. Well, remember on all the 3-minute clinics with casemates, we talk about, well, somebody else got them, but we talk about, there we go, finally. On a casemate, if you can take out the engine transmission, you're golden. Taking out a track, not so much, because they can still drive. But if you can take out the engine or the transmission, oh, how did I miss that? They can't move, so I mean, it's open game. Now you can get around the sides, you can do whatever you want to, really, which is great with a casemate, especially, you know, a significant casemate like that Panzer 470 thing, which is, I love playing it. I feel like they up-tiered it, so, and man, I just can't quite do it. At least I got the breach. I can take my time. Reload, and there we go. Sometimes reload just seems like forever, doesn't it? Alright, so there's an AA guy over there. That's nothing. Okay, we need to just take this point. Oh. Wow, not even close. And nope, too bad. Alright, we're taking a, wow, pretty good comeback, really. We were behind in this whole deal. What the heck? It's like that shell didn't explode or something. This guy gonna keep driving around? Who knows? Oh, the depression on this cannon barrel is pretty good too. There's a lot of upside to this tank. It's interesting that it never went into production. I mean, I don't know what they really ever would have done with it had it gone into production, because I don't think in Japan, I don't think tanks were a big deal. I think that was mostly naval warfare over there, for the most part. Not the whole thing, but I think for the most part there's a lot of naval warfare. I don't know how many of our tanks or guys ended up on the ground there. You know, I don't know everything about all the history of that. Maybe you guys do. But this thing, it's just an interesting tank, how close they were to having developed. Who knows how long it would have taken to get it in production, but they developed a pretty decent tank. It would have been pretty good. The other thing is, they probably, well, game over. They probably didn't have enough materials anyway to really make it. I think by the time this was getting ready to be made, I mean, the war was basically over, and then they surrendered, but I don't think their manufacturing capability would have been able to really produce this thing in any significant numbers. Although, you know, good design, everything looked good, but I don't know how significant it could have been, even if they had gone further with it. Unless they did it way, way earlier on in the war, then that might have helped them out. So let's see here. How did we do? Let's see. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10-7. We win. As usual, mustard method prevails. Thanks for watching. If you like it, like it. And if you liked it, and maybe if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Good luck, have fun, we'll see you in the next one.